I'm wondering where all the Free Palestine protesters are going to be over the next few days. We have a lot of demonstrations in this country. Well, Donald Trump just freed Palestine, apparently, and these hostages are coming back. And I just wonder, for all of the anti-American and anti-Western civilization sentiment in these rallies that we've seen, what do they have to say today? I thought we might see a little bit more today, but it makes me wonder what they were rallying for all these months.
Scott Jennings knows that he needs to attack the Free Palestine movement itself because they are the ones that have been able to get this insane movement going in the United States. Trump has just solved their problem single-handedly. It's a pretty wild thing, honestly, the fact that Trump was able to get this approved of by Hamas. I think that Iran had a huge part to do with this. This is really just confirmation how bad the damage was during the B-2 bombers, during the raid of the B-2 bombers that went in and destroyed Iran's nuclear facilities. It is confirmation how bad it is. Iran is calling Hamas and saying, hey, we don't have the money to support you anymore. We cannot keep you guys going over there. We have no way of keeping you guys afloat when it comes to defending yourself against Israel. You have no trade routes. You have no way of getting humanitarian aid into your land. Your people are dying. Iran wants nothing to do with Hamas at this point. They know they've lost. They know they've lost, and they know they don't have the money or the resources or even their own weapons to provide to Hamas to try to protect themselves. So the best thing that Hamas can do is approve of this plan and sign off.
I think you're on again tonight, Scott, so you can you can figure that out, and perhaps we'll.
And of course, Katie wants to shut him down, as usual.
Your expertise.
As usual, Scott's coming in with way too much logic, and Katie needs to stop him before he informs too much of their audience.
Of this ceasefire. Joining us now to discuss, someone with deep understanding of the region, Democratic Senator from Michigan, Alyssa Slotkin. She, of course, also a former CIA analyst who served 3 tours in Iraq alongside the U.S. military and sits on the Senate Armed Services Committee. Senator, thanks very much for being here. Big picture here, how much credit do you think Donald Trump deserves for this ceasefire?
Oh, I mean, look, all signals are very hopeful right now, and he would deserve real credit, and his negotiators on the ground, Witkoff as well. I mean, this is a very, very difficult problem set. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict in some form or fashion has been going on my entire life, longer than that. And so if they're able to get us to a ceasefire, get hostages home, end the humanitarian situation in Gaza, I mean, that would be a real accomplishment, and I would applaud him for it.
It's incredibly promising to see someone on the Democratic side actually giving Trump any credit whatsoever, because even through Katie's tone here, you can see that she's hesitant on giving him the credit that he deserves here. This would be the 9th and most significant peace deal that Trump has been able to solidify within the world stage. It is absolutely incredible what this guy has been able to do, and to not give him any credit for the peace deals that he's already accomplished has been really rough. But for Katie here to even give a pause to giving him credit for this, asking the question in the first place is showing that she has some doubt. But Slotkin here, respect. She's a Democrat, and she still says if this goes through, then Trump deserves all of the credit, and it would be a huge accomplishment. So massive respect to her. Huge statement from the Democratic side here. And hopefully we can see more of that crossing the party line with people like Slotkin in the Senate, like we have with Fetterman in the House. It's crazy. I'm seeing that we have Rand Paul voting on the Democratic side when it comes to these attacks on the narco terrorists. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like, Rand, I thought, was on our side, but now he's asking for more regulation on the presidency when it comes to attacking these narco terrorists who have been deemed international terrorist organizations.
Doesn't seem clear yet that that's actually going to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, we've had other ceasefire deals in the past, and they do the exchange of hostages for prisoners, and then it kind of fizzles out, right? And you really hope that that doesn't happen this time around. But it's always been on that sticking point of kind of who is on the ground with weapons in Gaza, IDF, where are they located in Gaza, and then Hamas, what are they able to do in Gaza? Hamas is saying that they signed up for the deal, which by my reading means disarmament. But, you know, we have to, the proof is in the pudding here. There's clearly things that have to be worked out, and the Israelis are signaling that they have to work on some details. So I like the idea that Witkoff and Kushner are in the parliament meeting, or cabinet meeting, excuse me. They're pressuring, they're clearly using force of the U.S. government, you know, pressure of the U.S. government to get this over the finish line, which, again, I think is an important and a laudable thing.
This is an especially crazy thing to hear from a Democrat because we saw how Jared Kushner was just completely shit-talked by the left when it came to the Abraham Accords and the deals that he got for Israel in the Middle East during the first Trump administration. I mean, the guy did historic things during that first term, and all he got was trash talked. There was no respect sent that guy's way from the left. Not a single Democrat said positive things about Jared Kushner during the time. Please find me something. Please find me a Democrat saying good things about Jared Kushner. Maybe about the Abraham Accords they said something good, but not about Jared Kushner, I can promise you that. But this woman is finally giving Jared Kushner the credit he deserves. Him and Witkoff being at these meetings is equally important. Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I'm excited to see what happens from this.
President Trump says tonight that the hostages currently being held in Gaza are expected to be released by Monday after Israel and Hamas signed off on the first phase of what the White House hopes will be a lasting peace deal. Joining me tonight is the Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin, and it's great to have you here, sir. I just wonder your reaction to this news tonight coming out of the White House.
Raskin is looking rough right now.
It's
what
some
the hell?
Very badly needed good news.
Wow.
It's welcome pretty much to everybody who wants to see peace. Like Ben Franklin said, there's no such thing as a bad peace or a good war, he said. And so peace is much to be preferred. And obviously we're just in the first stages and a lot of things can happen. But the whole world has been demanding an end to the bloodshed and the violence and a return of the hostages to their families. So it seems like this is a very positive break.
And do you believe that the president here, sir, deserves credit for brokering this deal?
Well, obviously we don't know a lot about the details of what happened or even the details of what exactly has been agreed to. But I'm perfectly willing to give credit to where credit's due.
Just to inform Mr. Raskin, the actual details of this agreement are available. They're online. We can all see them. I went ahead and asked Perplexity here, and it says specifically, Hamas has agreed to the first phase of a ceasefire and hostage exchange deal as part of a plan put forward by President Trump, aiming to pause the fighting in Gaza and set in motion steps intended to end the 2-year war between Israel and Hamas. The plan is being implemented in stages, with international mediation from the United States, Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey. Key elements of the plan. Immediate ceasefire. Both sides agreed to a halt in hostilities, with the ceasefire going into effect within 24 hours of Israeli cabinet ratification. Hostage and prisoner exchange. Hamas will release all remaining living Israeli hostages within 72 hours of the ceasefire's commencement in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners held by Israel. Israel's troop withdrawal from Gaza, though Israel will continue to hold more than half of Gaza territory during the early phase. Entry of humanitarian aid. There is a massive point of trade between Egypt and Gaza that is completely blocked by the Israelis right now. And that's really the most important part of all of this, I think. The Gazans have no way of receiving humanitarian aid at the moment because there's an area in Rafah that is completely blocked off. This area they're the only trade routes between Egypt and Gaza, and there's no other country that lines up, there's no other country that borders Gaza. So Egypt was the only option. If those trade routes are blocked, no one's going to get in there. There's not going to be any humanitarian aid. So the people of Gaza haven't really had food. There's been massive starvation in Gaza. It's awful what's been happening to the people out over there. I don't think anyone can say that what's happening to the people of Gaza isn't absolutely horrible. And this is a plan that's actually going to get them help, the help that they need. The people of Palestine are now officially free from the stranglehold that Israel had on them for at least these 2 years. We're already seeing how big of a difference this opening of the Rafah crossing has made to the people of Gaza. You know, we have Associated Press posting things like this on YouTube.
The people of Gaza have been desperately waiting for this moment. They have been displaced multiple times, chased by the threat of hunger and malnutrition, and making impossible choices to survive. The World Food Programme will bring in the lifelines, and we are already scaling up. We have restarted the bakeries last Sunday. More than 100,000 bundles of fresh bread are being provided daily as we speak to families in Gaza. With access, we can bring in the supplies in big volume.
They also posted some interviews of locals from Jerusalem and the West Bank to get takes from both sides of the conflict.
انه يتم يعني ان شاء الله انه هذا اولا في مصلحه اهل غزه في مصلحه الشعب الفلسطيني بكفي قتل بكفي تدمير بكفي تشريد بكفي نزوح ان شاء رب العالمين انه يتم لانه احنا اخذنا بنعرف على مدار التاريخ انه اليهود فيش إلهم لا عهد ولا وعد وبنخاف انه ينقضوا بعد ما ياخذوا اسراهم.
بكل الاحوال شو ما كان الاتفاق هو بضل أفضل من شلال الدم النازف. شو ما كان الاتفاق هو بضل أفضل الخيارات ويعني وسيد الموقف إنه يوقف هذا الدم وإن شاء الله إنه بيكتمل على خير وبيتم التوقيع اليوم.
We can't wait for the hostages to come here. We are so excited this morning. We cried all morning. It's been 2 years that we are in horror. And that's a great day. That's a great day. Thanks to Trump, thanks to Bibi Netanyahu, thanks to everyone, all the families.
Only hope. After many times that we were on the edge for a deal, I'm still a bit skeptic, but I have some hope.
Personally, what I really love about all of these interviews, from Jerusalem to Gaza to the West Bank, you can see the hope that all of these people have, that this will finally end this bloody war. This will finally end the turmoil that's existed in that region for decades. You'll finally have people receiving the aid that they need to continue the lives that they're living. Hopefully this leads to a new, good government in Gaza, something sustainable for the people there that's not led by hate for their neighbor. I think this is hugely positive for the world, that we're no longer going to see the suffering that we've seen for so long. Now we're going to see cooperation. Now we're going to see the different regions of the Middle East that have been at war, whether it was physically or ideologically, for as long as they've existed pretty much. We're going to see them come together. We're going to see them cooperate for the better of their people, for the better of their countries. They should fight for what's best for their country. And I think that's what Hamas is doing right now. That's what Israel is doing as well. And everyone really just wants what's best for both of them, because you have so many successful countries in the Middle East. And you have so much promise in the region. Thank you again, President Trump. I know it's just going to be success after success from here on out. Let's go, America. Bye, everyone.